Okay, so in creating a profile for a sweep, I've done one here, but I'll just redo it again. And obviously it's not perfect. It's just to give the idea of how to use this function. So I'm gonna go, in this case, I'm gonna go into my polygon tool or shortcut number 8, and I'm just going to draw a bit of a profile. I can even do this one a bit different.
Did you like trace a picture?
Totally.
Oh, cool.
Right? So, and for sure, and even like a pop bottle, if you wanted to do a pop bottle, anything that's,
Does it have to be soft edges?
no,
I mean, like, okay.
okay, but, so like I can even leave these, I'll leave these edges as they are. 1 second. Here, I'll do that. Okay, I'll leave this as it is. Okay, if I just sweep this profile as it is, it's going to give me something that I don't want. So I'm just going to show you the wrong way of doing things. So I go model menu again, sweep. It basically does this sweep. It kind of knows what settings to put in. I'm just going to leave these. I'm going to hit OK.
Oh,
Well,
like a lighthouse.
It is.
Did you mean to?
What did I say? I'm going to do this wrong. Okay, so what it's done is
It's so cool.
it's created a cylinder around it, and then that shape is actually inside that cylinder.
Whoa.
So see, there's my profile, okay? So it basically took the outside dimensions, created an overall shape, and then used that profile to cut out the inside. Now, those were hard edges, and actually before I do that, so here's the 2D locus tool, and it places a 2D reference point on a drawing. They have no dimensions, only location, and all you have to do is click and place it. So that's, in placing a locus point, I am placing that pivot point that the whole profile then sweeps around. So I'm going to place that here, or I could place it there, right? Doesn't matter, but I'm going to place it there. Then what I have to do is I have to select both objects. So I have my profile and I have my locus. It's going to say 2 objects because they're different types. I go up to my model, I go sweep, I just leave the same settings and hit OK, and now this is what I get.
That's so cool. You can literally make anything.
Yes, right?
That's so sick.
Right? We can make anything, and this is where there's so many tools. So you can see those hard edges, they stay hard, that's fine. Now what I can do too is if I want to create rounded edges in some way, I can edit my polygon before I go into my sweep. So I'm going to double click on my polygon. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to deselect because I had 2 objects. Double clicking on my polygon takes me into my polygon reshape tool. There are all these, I can modify these edges. So say for instance, I actually wanted this to be over here. I want it to be there. Okay, so I could be like, that's a bit extreme. So this, I can move any vertex, and you can see there's, it's moving those handles, that red point of reference. This one is to move my edges. So I could say make this edge, and I'm going to move it parallel. I can see that what happens is it extended this point because it maintained that parallel, and then it moves and extends all those other points attached. Whereas if I use this handle mode, I can still move this, but you can see what happens. It doesn't extend. It just it doesn't keep that angled line parallel. It just moves it along with it. Okay. So now this is change vertex mode. So if it's a vertex, it's just going to be a corner point. But I can do different curves. These 4 Modes are different types of curves. So there's Bezier control. So, and as I hover over a point, it changes my cursor to match this icon, and it shows, it's basically indicating that yes, this point you can change to Bezier. This one I won't be able to change. It's a midpoint. This one I can. Do you see how it changes and not changes? Okay, so I'm going to make this one a curve, and I'll just show. So it did that. And now with that, I can go and then move and make these adjustments if I want to. I can easily then move these. So now I have something like that. So that's a Bezier. Again, if I go into here, and remember, if I want, here is the first mode menu group. So to toggle between all these options, it's going to be the U key. This is going to be the I key, O key, P. U, I, O, P. Okay. So this one gets a little crazy. Kind of goes like that. So that's a totally different profile than what we had. Cubic spline. We get that. And again, you can still make adjustments after. And like most often you're going to use the fillet. So if I wanted to do a curved, then I can do that. Right now that's actually, so the amount that it curves is in this reshape tool preferences. So I've set that radius, and say if I wanted a smaller radius, I can just do 6 inches. And actually I want to go back to keep those settings, yeah. So then it only does a small fillet. So then I can be like, actually I want it a little bit more than that, so I can make it say 10 inches and then go there, and that makes it like that. Okay, so I'm gonna do that as a fillet. Okay, so now I'm like, okay, I like that profile. Again, I have to select, actually before that, I'm like, maybe I don't quite like that, because this is gonna be a pin, and I do want it to be a table leg. So I need to actually add another edge here. So I'm going to add a vertex, and so now I can see that I'm adding a vertex, but there's different vertices to add. So I could directly go into adding a curve, or I can make sure it's a corner point mode. And in this case, I'm just adding another edge. So I'm going to do a corner point. But you can see now as I hover over a point, it changes. And it shows me that this basically is duplicating. So what I want to do, I have to go to an existing point, and I drag up from there or out from that shape. Now that didn't actually go in the way I wanted it to go. So I'm actually going to grab this one. So, and sometimes I will grab this one, but I'll go out this way. Now what's happened is it's flipped it, so I'm going to have to move these. So I'm going to have to move this one there, and I want to move this one back. So sometimes it can overlap. And that's even a bit there. And right now I've lost that edge, so I can just go over and make sure it's a closed polygon. And then now let's sweep this. So again, I have my 2 objects. I need to make sure I have that locus there. I go model, sweep, hit OK. And there's my gorgeous little swept object.
Locus, did you double click or triple click? Or what did you do to get that?
All you do is select the 2D locus tool, and you just click and place it one click where you want. So there isn't a lot of options. See, there's no mode menus. So wherever you click, it places it. So, and okay, so now we're gonna do some sweeping, some more sweeping. I'm gonna get rid, actually I'll undo. So I'll create a different profile. Say if we wanted to create a donut. Yeah. So what is a segment of a donut gonna look like?
Like a rectangle, a circle.
Yeah, around a rectangle, a circle. I'll just keep it simple and do a circle. Okay, now when I create this, place this locus, I want, where is going to be that center point of that spin, right? It's going to be in the space in the donut hole. So I'm going to snap it to the center just so it's aligned. But I'm just going to place it to the right or left outside of my profile space. Then I'm going to select both and I'm going to go up and sweep or Command Option W and hit OK. And now I have my donut. Okay?
We just knew not to put anything in the center.
Well, because there was nothing there, right? So my locus, it's that pivot point. So basically what it does is it sweeps this around. So wherever this edge is, this distance from this locus is where that shape is going to start,
I see.
right? So it's just going to go, basically take that circle and spin it around that locus or that rotation point, right? That pivot point.
So where you place it is where it's gonna.
Yeah. So I want to make sure if I want a specific amount of space, if I know this distance, then that's where I place that locus. Okay.